We have information to share today about flood recovery. A local school puts a conservation grant to good use, and we raise awareness about fair housing, sexual assault, and more through the month of April. Let's review what's going on in Richland County. Dent Middle School science teacher Dr. Rachel Tustin was recently awarded a conservation education mini grant by Richland Soil and Water Conservation District to support her students' water quality monitoring efforts in Cary Lake. Dr. Tustin's classes have been collecting and analyzing soil and water samples and monitoring macroinvertebrate populations in the area of Gills Creek watershed that was heavily damaged by October's floods. During a ceremony in April, Richland County Councilman Jim Manning joined County and School District 2 staff at Dent Middle School to recognize Dr. Tustin and celebrate her students' hard work.
When we get an education, when we get information, there's so many simple things that you can do to protect a watershed. And when you learn it early and it just becomes a part of your life, each person can make a difference.
So every year the Richland Soil and Water Conservation District offers conservation mini grants to fund school projects that are promoting environmental awareness and conservation. We offer 2 award cycles every year, one in the fall, one in the spring, and teachers can submit applications. The application is on our website at rcgov.us/rswcd. And then we have a panel of judges that reviews the applications, and they'll select 5 or 6 usually every semester for funding. And so Dent Middle School has a fantastic water quality monitoring program. We were really excited to see students engaged in such hands-on scientific inquiry that also is dealing with current issues in our community.
As part of a statewide initiative bringing attention to sexual assault and teen dating violence, Richland Library teamed up with Richland County Councilwoman Julianne Dixon to host a series of book clubs focusing on Speak by Lori House Anderson. These gatherings ran through April, which also marks Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
To have a discussion about teenagers in high school and what they go through as far as teen dating violence, and how as adults at times we're not even aware of what our children are going through day to day. It's a conversation for the community.
Anytime we can bring people together to discuss those hard issues, the library is a place of learning. Yes, we are known for our books and having books, and book clubs fit right into that mission, but we're also a place of learning and access and creating those avenues for access. And so that's what this book club is. It starts the conversation, and the library has always been about being that community center for people and being that place where people can get unbiased, clear information about topics.
Richland County Council members Jim Manning and Julianne Dixon also encouraged county employees to recognize Sexual Assault Awareness Month by participating in Denim Day on Wednesday, April 27th. Denim Day is an international campaign organized to help protest the misconceptions surrounding sexual assault. Fair housing issues affect everyone, and that is the message Richland County Community Development Department shared in April, which is Fair Housing Month. The department, along with several community partners, held a fair housing conference at Adventure Museum with panel discussions and more.
Fair housing is hugely important for our community because there's different agencies affiliated with the county, with the state, with the city, and so it takes a lot of collective work. And to have a conference like this with the wonderful panel speakers crossing the whole bridge of the different folks that work with it. We've got a good number of people from the community here that it impacts. Just so aware of the clients and the families that need fair housing, need affordable housing in our community.
The day before the conference, a series of continuing legal education classes was held in Earlwood Park. The events made up a 2-day observance under the theme, Civil Rights, It Still Matters. From waiving fees for building permits to establishing an email hotline for flood-related questions, Richland County is working to help residents and businesses navigate long-term flood recovery. County officials continue to meet with state and federal representatives about disaster recovery funding. Federal officials toured flood-damaged areas in Richland County as part of a series of meetings with Richland County and other local and state representatives regarding Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery funding awarded in February. Richland County will receive $23.5 million in CDBGDR funding. County Council also waived building permit fees and business license fees for individuals and volunteer organizations working to repair structures damaged by the October flood, but the permits and licenses are still required. For more information, contact the county's building department, 576-2140. In addition, residents needing assistance in flood-related issues are urged to contact 211 or email recovery@rcgov.us. City of Columbia received a Class 1 and Richland County received a Class 2 rating after an evaluation of the Insurance Services Office Public Protection Classification. The City of Columbia previous rating was Class 2 and Richland County had a rating of Class 4. Factors considered during the recent evaluation include fire station status, local water supply systems, emergency communication systems, and efforts to reduce risk through community efforts.
In order to get that type of rating, you got to have a vibrant training program. You got to make sure you're able to deliver water. You got to make sure your fire service is being dispatched quickly. So it is a lot of components that goes into that.
The fire insurance companies look at the ISO rating and set their rates based on the ISO ratings. So to have a rating as low as a 2 or a 1, or I don't even know that there is a 0, but to have a rating that low would suggest that people will get preferential rates on their fire insurance. And this has been a concern of ours historically when we were lacking fire stations in certain parts of the county where the ISO ratings were going up. It was going to have the opposite effect. Had the rating gone up, it would have been a negative impact on fire insurance. So we've constructed some fire stations in selected areas that have obviously had the impact we expected them to.
Richland County Floodplain Manager Andrea Bowling was honored this month by a state association of her peers, several months after historic floods devastated Richland County. The South Carolina Association of Hazard Mitigation named Bowling the Floodplain Manager of the Year during the organization's annual conference. Ms. Bowling was recognized for demonstrating excellence in the field of floodplain management. RC CASA volunteer Dee Stogdill was named the National CASA Volunteer of the Year. Stogdill has been an RC CASA volunteer known as a guardian ad litem for 17 years. During that time, she advocated on behalf of 45 children from Richland County. The 2016 edition of Richland 101, a 4-week class to give residents insight into county services and programs, was held in April. Richland 101 is an annual event coordinated by the county's Public Information Office. Each class focuses on different areas in Richland County, such as conservation, neighborhood planning, emergency services, and more. Residents are able to speak with county officials, ask questions, tour facilities, and receive handouts about a multitude of services departments provide. During this year's graduation at the Zoo, which is a millage agency of Richland County, residents were commended by Council Chairman Tori Rush for being active and engaged community members.
It's your tax dollars. The government is your tax dollars at work, and it's important that you understand how that process works. So getting citizens to be a part of that, to go through the classes, to understand what public works is, to understand what animal control is, what vector control is, I think that's extremely important because as a citizen, sometimes you don't see the intricacies of how government works because a more engaged and informed citizen makes this county run better. So I think that's extremely important for people to and more citizens to be a part of Richland 101.
I loved every single thing. The day that we were in the court, understanding who's CASA and, you know, every role that each person has in the community is very important. As well, the safety nights were, I mean, I learned so much information. You get to know exactly how to prepare in case of an emergency. And you realize that with the flood, it could have been worse if these people wouldn't have been as prepared as they were.
In May, Richland County will receive the state's first Charters of Freedom Monument, with replicas of the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Richland County Council voted to accept a gift from Foundation Forward, Inc. to receive South Carolina's first Charters of Freedom Monument on the grounds of the County Administration Building, and the dedication ceremony is planned for May 26. That's going to do it for this edition of Richland Review. Richland County departments and employees are always busy in the community working on various programs and projects. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and rcgov.us for updates on county business and happenings.
Our conservation mini grant program offers $250 to fund school projects.
We got an outtake. He's got the giggles.
All right. All right.
Nice.
Yeah,
That was good.
Thank you.
Do it again. That was good.
So to be able to have government. Go ahead. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
That is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Oh, yeah.